Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of 4. And today I have 3 teams for you for the raid event, Broken Spire raid event. So let's get started right here with the first team. This team is going to be the one you would use starting early and going until it just stops working. You want to make a team like that at the beginning so you can get further into the event and get to the higher level Zul'Goths and stuff like that. You're going to want to use at least 2 different teams most of the time in a lot of events. The first one's going to like clear everything quickly and get you deeper in, and then the second one will be like your real team with the, raid boss killer and stuff like that. So this one was just to get me further in, get the Zul'Goth to be higher level, and get us like really deep into the event. So I got Mountain Crusher, Magma Dragon, and Ogress. So a little damage sandwich. I really like to use Mountain Crusher quite a bit. It's like the first good weapon you're ever going to get. You get it with Brown Mastery, like early in the game. Probably the first Mastery weapon you're ever going to get. And I still use it quite a bit in a lot of events. I don't really use it like on like PvP teams or Explore 12 teams or like... I don't really use it in like the underworld, but events like this, like raids, other things like that, just events that happen during the week, single player events, guild events. Sometimes I'll use Mountain Crusher still. It's a really low mana cost weapon. You can get it up very quickly. It explodes a ton of brown and then makes a brown storm. It's just a nice weapon to just get you going quickly. So match a little bit of brown, get it up, cast it, and then cast your 2 Magma Dragons and you're good to go. They will wipe out everything on the other side up quite a while. Like I show you, I think, the last battle where I used it. What was happening was, early on, Magma Dragon was wiping everything in one shot. Later on, I would need both Magma Dragons to finish off the Zul'Goth. And then at the very end, like Zul'Goth he survived with like 1 HP, and I blew up the board with like Ogress, and then it died. But then I was like, okay, I better make a new team, because Zul'Goth is starting to survive with 1 HP. So that was my cue to make a different team. Like, I need to put the Raid Killer on my team now, because Zul'Goth is surviving 2 Magma Dragons. So, yeah, you got the Mountain Crusher, you just get it up real quick, cast it. Then you got the Magma Dragons who make their little red and brown storm, which makes them hit harder. Ogress is just there just in case you might need something else. You could even do this team for longer if you want to. That's why the Ogress is there, in case you just want to take this team all the way. You don't need the raid boss. You don't have to do the raid boss. The raid boss does not give you extra points. It's just a really strong, troop for this event. So this isn't like a journey event. This isn't like a, bounty event. Like, you don't have to use the raid killer. This is more like an invasion where it's just a really strong troop that you probably want to use, but you don't have to. You don't get more points if you use the raid killer troop. So it's kind of confusing. I don't know why they do events different ways. I mean, it does make things interesting, but it can confuse beginners. But yeah, raids and invasion. The raid killer, the tower killer, they do not give you extra points. They're just really powerful against the main enemy. And in like bounties and journey, you like almost have to use the troop that they like, the Pathfinder and the bounty troop, because the bounty captain, because they give you extra points. Confusing, huh? Anyway, this is the high level team. So once we get through the early battles where we're using 2 Magma Dragons and wiping them out, turbo-roided. I gotta say my little tagline. This would be the team I would switch to later on if I was a high-level player. Still using that Magma Dragon because it hits super hard. It has the brown and red storm. Pretty much everything uses brown and red. And another perk of having that brown and red storm is that Igneus turns red to brown. So you're making alignment quite a bit, and which will make a ton of brown, which gets up your top 3 troops there. The Infernus at the bottom, just to finish everything off after you do your little dance with the Mountain Crusher, Igneus, and Magma Dragon. Things will survive this deep, so the Infernus is there to finish everything off, and if it doesn't, somehow, it makes a big explosion, it'll get things back up again, and you can just continue. So, pretty cool. I liked the combination of the Igneus and the Magma Dragon as a foundation to a team, because The Magma Dragon hits really hard. It's on like world record teams and everything for how hard it hits and how well it goes with other things that hit hard, actually. I don't want to have a technically guy in the comments, but by the way, technically the COT, the City of Thieves thing, I guess I was right in the end, so I put the video back up. So I hate doubting myself. Like in the end I usually am right, but I don't know. That sounds conceited or whatever, but I need to quit doubting myself, I guess. So that video is back up. Everything is still correct in it. I don't have to change anything. Alright. So, the high-level team. I will cast... It's Mountain Crusher again. I'm using Mountain Crusher again. You could also use the new weapon. The new weapon's pretty cool. It gives, like, red allies a couple mana. And it blows up red gems and gives Broken Spire allies a positive status effect. And it has a summon on it and everything. But Mountain Crusher's lower mana cost, it just gets up quicker. I don't need the summon, most likely. Only 2 of my troops use red mana, etc. So, went with Infernus and Magma Dragon. Cast that Mountain Crusher, get up your Igneus, cast it on the Zul'Goth to one-shot it. And then you got your Magma Dragon to cast and get everything else really weakened. And then you cast the Infernus to finish them off. And if anything survived, you got Infernus blowing up the board. So that team was working out pretty well. Here is my low-level team. This is probably my weakest out of all the teams. I mean, sometimes it's the strongest, sometimes it's not. But this is another one where it has some good synergy if you do it right, but if you do it wrong, you can kind of screw up everything. So you got to really be careful here. I mean, you don't have to be, but the more careful you are with like keeping certain colors on the board and then changing them into other colors, the better off you'll be. This isn't going to be the fastest team ever. There might be better lower level teams, but this is what I came up with. So we got Igneus, who is your Zul'Goth killer, your raid boss killer. If you're a low level player, you almost pretty much have to use that because the Zul'Goth, you don't want it to get that instant kill on you. So having a troop that can target him specifically and hit him really hard and most likely one-shot him is a great thing. So make sure you use Igneus on your team if you're a low-level player. If you say, Sinny, I don't like this team today, so, I'm going to make my own team. Well, you better use Igneus no matter what else you do on there. And I suggest using the new weapon, too, because you got the summon, you got the positive status effect. Everything in the restriction, everything we can use, anything you could pick is Broken Spire, so the weapon will give whatever you decide to use a positive status effect, and you will have a summon in case you lose any troops. I went with 2 lava worms, so I think the spot where you're gonna be, we're all gonna be different. It's maybe those last 2 slots. Igneus and the weapon that you get through the shop, I think you could go ahead and throw those on the team, and then whatever you want to do for the last 2 slots is up to you. I went with 2 lava worms trying to loop them. So worms are usually good for lower level players because they put their own color onto the board and they hit the same enemy like the last slot. And if you just keep casting the worms over and over and over, you can make the board, the more you cast them, the more red the board will get and the more they'll like loop. But what's cool about this one is you put red onto the board and then you can change it back into brown with the Igneus, who, does a little bit of damage too. So if you want to target down a Valraven or something, if you have alignment, after casting some worms, you can cast the Igneus. So, kind of neat. And you got the weapon that blows up red. So, put all the red onto the board, change it into brown if you want to with the Igneus, or blow it up with the weapon. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel down below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.